And I can say I have 0 lives because of all my extra attempts. And so now we're actually playing, my real attempt, my real run through here. First go, I went down into here. Some notes, some extra notes that can just be collected. Kind of a nice time to do it. They really just went all out with the notes in this one. They just created like the most. Yeah, see, my note record was like 22. That shows you how easily I died. But anyway, they really just made the locations for all the notes just really assy. They just suck. Like they're in the stupidest place ever. I'll show you even later. They're like the way that you have to get them. Like you're required to in order to get all 100, and just inconvenient in every way. Also right here I kind of messed up. I kind of forgot that one of them leads back to the entrance, so I had to turn around and go back. So I apologize for that. Okay, so now that we've done all of that, and there's nothing really in any of the other bottom ones. There's eggs in one of them, and then it's like feathers in the other one. I don't know. It's not really anything we need. I think I come back later just to look. But now we're going to try to raise Clanker from for being so low in the water. First, I decided it's a good idea for me to get as much breath as possible because you have to swim down really deep, and getting getting air. There's a source to get air, but it's kind of difficult. No, I wouldn't say difficult. I'd say it's I don't know what the word is. I guess it's difficult. Sure, why not? It's difficult. Because there's a guy, a little fish down here that swims around. First of all, he could be helping, but he doesn't. And his name is... What is his name? Gloop. That's it. Yeah. His name is Gloop. And Gloop will spit out bubbles. And if you swim through the bubbles, then you can get a couple bubbles of air, and that'll keep you alive long enough to be able to do this. Now, the general... See, what I'm trying to do is try to swim through the keyhole, which is connected to the anvil, and the anvil is what's keeping him down so far. I guess that's a key. I always thought it was a key. It's a key. Why not? Right now I'm just prioritizing getting the notes because I definitely don't want to come back down here at any point after I've done this. And as always, it's 3 rotations of the key in order to get, in order to raise it. Now, this is just ridiculous. Like, look at how shitty this is. I cannot get it. Yeah, 30 notes after all this time, only 30. I'll admit, I did a pretty bad job on this level, but I mean, I can't be blamed for, like, everything on this level. I mean, there are parts of it that really are just horrible. Now, the next level, not my favorite level, but definitely funner level than this. And I like on the bubbles, there's a reflection of Banjo Kazooie as you're swimming towards them. It's kind of a cool little added effect. It kind of looks realistic. Alright. Also, it doesn't matter which way you swim through the key. I mean, it rotates different ways, but yeah, regardless, it's gonna unlock after the 3rd rotation. Which is nice that they did that. I mean, that would be a pain to have to go around 3 times. I mean, you'd probably run out of breath a lot more easily. Okay, so raise Clanker. Clanker comes above the surface of the water, and there's a G on his back. So you can go up there and get that. I don't do it right now. Instead, I go over and I climb on the things on the side walls, because those are the most annoying. I just wanted to get them out of the way. I accidentally skipped a couple jiggy / note / whatever locations. Which is actually right there. Yeah, I waited until all the way at the end because I didn't realize you could get up there. I waited way too long on that. So right here, this is kind of a pain in the ass. You have to be on his fin in order to get up there, first of all, which is just stupid because you have to wait for him. and there's one of those green shit faces. Right, see, that's what happens to me. It's right there, right in your way. So, you kind of just have to, you know, get ballsy and just run right at him. Just beak attack. That's what I call I found. Otherwise, it just keeps coming out over and over. Also, one thing that I will say is nice is that they don't come back. There are ones later in the game I think they do, and that is bullshit. I just fell. So frustrating. Yeah, so we gotta go all the way back up there. My button just got broken there again. I don't know if you saw that. I couldn't swim any faster than that. Hopefully that doesn't keep happening to me later in the game. This is, just what comes to mind. This is the most water-based level in the game, I think. So hopefully after this, we'll be all done. But even more so than Treasure Trove, and that's an island. So I think after this, there isn't very much water. I mean, by comparison, there's much water. So we get up here. Eggs, not useful, really. Oh, shit. Okay. Forgot about that. I almost fell all the way down there. Yeah. Eggs are not very useful. I do use them a little bit more on this level than the last level, but definitely want to go for the mumble token. Yeah. And there's nothing more to be obtained there. And here, what was I doing next here? I was just kind of looking around, see where I should be going next, and I decided that I'm going to go for this ridiculous location that I mentioned earlier. You have to do in order to go to the notes, because there's basically indents within the wall, and it has feathers, eggs, notes, and there's a one up. You have to go towards the notes, definitely. There's one of them. There's another one that is further down the line. And this is the only way you can do it, is just by jumping out and jumping back in. Especially with those video lags, you know, it's pretty difficult. I mean, if I were to let go of the button, I would just fall all the way down. There we go, okay. Now, luckily I got 2 1-ups from just collecting them, which compared to my 0 is much better, because if I had died, like, game over, and that would have just really pissed me off. So now we can actually get on top of Clanker finally. There's some notes to be collected on top of Clanker. Kind of a cool effect that I guess it's just this kind of trotting in the water. He goes up and down. Kind of annoying at sometimes more than others, but not too bad here, I guess. The tail is kind of annoying. We go on that later. It goes back and forth really, really fast, and I actually almost fall off with it. But I mentioned that to some cool. Now, Clanker mentions to you that his teeth are hurting, and we'll come back and we'll do that later. Now, there's a little screw on his back that goes flying up, and just stay on that until it goes up. This is very, very dangerous, especially because once again I'm not using an analog stick, I'm using keys, so kind of inching my way along. And there's another jiggy for you. Up to 53 notes. I'll get head back down. And which doesn't matter, I'm just gonna land on Clanker. His eyes move when you walk across his face, it's kind of funny. Here, you have to get all the way to the end. Well, first, let's hit this. Let's talk about this thing. This, another grunty platformy switch thing. It'll raise Grunty's eyes in one of the previous rooms within the castle. Here, there are moving blades, and you basically just have to run through and try to avoid them. It's more easily said than done. Especially because, I mean, there are so many different fans, and it kind of becomes a blur. It's a visual effect, and it's difficult to tell which ones you're running in front of. You have to be really careful. This last one gets really, really tight. Like, the distance is tiny to stand in. Okay. Yeah, definitely gonna use it, but get the jiggy, so okay. Alright, 21 minutes. Oh my. Yeah, I'll probably end up splitting this into 4 parts, I'm thinking. Not really sure why I chose to fly there. Will be used later, but here's a bit of a mini game. Tedious as hell, a pain in the ass. You have to jump through the hoops within a given time limit. You'll see in just a second here. But the hoops are of different sizes. Some of them, like the big ones, obviously are no problem, but the last one is puny, and so your swimming has to be pretty much dead on. Otherwise you're gonna miss it, which you see I do by milliseconds, and I end up having to do the whole thing over. This one you just kind of want to crouch jump and get over it, just barely. Swim under the water for this one. What I may end up doing is speeding up some of this. Not sure which parts I will or not. Maybe the parts at the end, because there ends up being a part at the end where I'm just looking for notes. Alright, so yes, here's the bullshit part. I'm not over this still. Oh, come on, see, look at that, that's garbage. Now watch what happens. Yeah, really, that can really happen to a person. It doesn't happen to me. I mean, that was within probably a quarter of a second. Get it all over again. I don't know if I've really been paying attention or not, but the inside of Clanker's body is actually pretty graphic. I mean, there's a pretty good amount of flesh. Yeah, I missed that. There's a lot of flesh and just bone, and it's just all bloody and nasty.